Yes, yes, yes. Welcome again to another episode of the WSXN podcast, where a united Africa is a undisputed Africa. It's a fact. Anyway, so let's get into this video. In Nigeria, there was a Chinese supermarket who was being blocking black people from coming. They tell black people they cannot enter the supermarket. It's only for Chinese people, and it created an uproar. But take a look at this video, watch it for yourself, and then we're gonna discuss it after. Boom.
This visit was prompted by a viral video circulating on social media where Nigerians claimed they were denied entry to the store based on their nationality, sparking widespread outrage. Upon arrival at the location, the security personnel hesitated to open the gate, insisting on receiving authorization from higher authorities. After approximately 10 minutes, access to the compound was granted. The owner has now been summoned to provide more answers.
Externally. Enquiries have shown that yes, as at this morning, this supermarket was open to discriminate against any person who has any desire, intention to patronize any shop. It's a public shop. It's a public access facility and also business.
The owner of the store has until Wednesday, 11 a.m. to report to the commission, or the supermarket will remain closed.
She opened it up, went inside, and the discoveries were just enormous. Chinese embassy was there represented. The China Chamber of Commerce and Industry was also there. And all the products are labeled in yen, and that's the only currency they accept there, yen. That's again the law in Nigeria. You don't sell products not in Naira. Everything you sell in Nigeria should be in Nigerian currency. And then issue of discrimination, that they only allow Chinese into the supermarket, has been confirmed. We have now instructed that she must put up a notice in front of that shop that says everybody can go into the supermarket and shop. And also the issue of the yen and the display of prices, we're discussing with her to put things right. At the same time, we're also discussing sanctions, of course, because a wrong has been done and bad behavior leads to consequences. So we'll look at our law and find out what these consequences are and apply to the full wrath of the law.
I've heard you talk about these consequences. It's about 10 million naira fine
That's
for each of the owners.
Yes, and then 10% turnover of last year's turnover for the company.
So you see there, my first point of attack. The security guard who is sitting down there at the entrance, he need 2 licks, he need 2 slaps. Why is it a black man he's sitting down there securing a Chinese supermarket from having another black people to enter? Whoever owns that security company needs to be fined as well, because they are the one who accepted that contract. And if it's not a company, it's a company. Normally they don't hire like a random person to be a security. It's always a company. So these companies need to be fined, because you accepted a security gig from a company that's racist, and you're gonna have black people sitting down at the entrance, stopping other black people from entering. That's one. Number two, they only sell Chinese produce in the supermarket, and they only put all their prices in yen. That's a no-no. Why is a no-no? You cannot come into a country that's predominantly black. It's a black country. You're gonna put your prices in your currency, not the country currency not the country's currency. That's another reason of blatant racism. And black people eat Chinese produce, and they also visit China and tourism, and they eat. So it's not like we are not used to these produce. Me myself eat this produce. So if you want to have a Chinese owned supermarket, that's fine. But the fact that you're borrowing or some entering is an issue. So you see the owner run away, but they caught some of them, and they gave each one of them a 10 million euro, a 10 million naira fine, and they have to pay, I think, as the guy said, 10% from the profit last year. They close it down, seal it off, so there's no access to the supermarket anymore. That means whatever all the produce inside is gonna be either spoiled or destroyed, which I don't think they should do that. They should just have a grand sale and take that money. And they also banning them from ever owning any other market again. But I'm so sorry they didn't get to hold the main person who escaped. So this made national news in Nigeria, which should have happened. And I don't want people to take this as a we don't like Chinese or this is a attack on all Chinese. No, because not all Chinese are the same. Even though China is in Africa, not every single one of them gonna like Africans. Just like the Russians, not the Russians, you have the Indians as well. They don't like us. Professor P.L.O. Lundumba had said this in one of his speeches that the Chinese are here, the Russians are here, the Indians are here, and the Arabs are here, and none of these people like us. You have not all of them. Some of them are very good people because you cannot blame a whole race for a few bad apples. But you cannot come into a country that's predominantly black, don't want to interact with us, don't want to want us to be in your vicinity. Because you have neighborhoods now in Africa that's cordon that's gated, that's whites, Indians, Russians. No, I'm not lying. Whites, Indians, and Chinese have their own area in Africa right now, like the gated community. That's mean they don't want to they want to mingle with us. But even though they are spending Russia, the Chinese are spending over 20 billion they spent last year in Africa for helping the continent to grow and signing deals and making ports and airports and buildings. That doesn't mean they like us, but it's a profitable continent right now. Africa is very profitable at this moment. It's a growing continent. You have the youngest population on the planet. So that means we have more money to make because that's why you have everyone coming to go into Africa right now to set up business. The Russians are helping Africa as well, signing deals, getting our resources. And again, you will find some of the bad apples. Not all are the same, but the ones we have to make an example like this one. We have to make an example of them to tell them to show them what will happen when you mess with us on this kind of level. So I love the the response to this by the government and by the people who's over the food department. This response is what I need to see when we have this kind of racism in our country. I mean, even in the Caribbean, we have the same issue in the Caribbean when they come and build hotels here. They want to say black people cannot come in the hotels. In Jamaica, the Chinese tried that. What we did, we burned the hotel flat to the ground, burn it down. Recently in St. Lucia, they want to block off the beach and saying it's theirs. St. Lucians went and said, nope, this cannot happen. There's no owning no beach here. And they keep a big party on the beach, loud music and everything to make sure they know they cannot do this here. And you have other places where this is happening where they're trying to go and take over some place that's not theirs and trying to ban the locals from accessing the beaches or accessing hotels and our supermarkets. But like I said, we in the Caribbean we don't play that. The Africans don't play that. So this is what we have to do. We have to make an example of every single person who tries this. Make an example out of them. So that to send a message to the others who's coming after. Do not mess with these people. If you don't want to be around black people, stay in the country. If you don't want to be around black people, don't come to Africa. Don't come to the Caribbean. It's predominantly black. What do you think you're gonna do? You're gonna come and co-op a whole area for yourself? No, those days you could do this in the 60s, in the 70s. Now we're in the 2000s. Those this generation is not like our parents who will stay quiet and stay silent and take licks or being rushed by dogs in the 60s and the stickers. Back then they used to get attacked by dogs, fire hose, beaten, lynch. Those days, this kind of happen in modern days. Modern days we're not as easygoing. We are more we are more retaliatory. We retaliate way more than our foreparents used to. So we have more rights now. We have more access to information. So we have education. We can read, write, everything. So there's no more excuse now for them to use propaganda to keep us in check, which is happening still because you still have people who have a colonized mindset. Their mindset is warped. They believe we have some coconuts here. They're brown on the outside and white on the inside. We have a lot of them. And those are the ones who scare me the most. Not scare me. We don't know who they are. Those are the ones who go against their own race at all costs. Those coconuts. Brown inside, brown outside, white on the inside. It's a fact. Anyway, this was a quote from Dr. Joshua. He's a African, Pan-Africanist. Go look him up. He's a brilliant guy as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. As always, tell a friend, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Boom.